beautiful souls. Welcome back to another episode of AI Biz, the podcast where innovation meets introspection and where we don't just talk about the growth, we embody it. I'm your host, Avik, and today we are diving headfirst into one of the most pressing conversations of our time, which is AI ethics and confidential AI, balancing innovation and the privacy. That's a very important, the great one, also, dear listeners. So, now, before your mind starts racing about the robots or taking over the world, and so before you do that, hold up, because today's guest is here to set the record straight. Yes. So, joining us is someone whose life reads like an epic novel. He's a tech leader, fearless changemaker, and the former professional windsurfer. Yes, you heard that right. Yes. So, from swimming with sharks to leading cutting edge teams at Amazon, Mozilla, and now OPEC Systems, Giorgio Natili. So, welcome to the show, Giorgio.
Thank you, Avik. I'm super excited to be here with you, and thanks for the nice introduction. You are too generous with me. I never thought about my life as an opal.
Thank you so much, Giorgio, for joining us. And before we do that, I'll quickly love to introduce you again uh, to all the listeners. So, dear listeners, Giorgio is redefining what it means to lead with the courage, even in the unpredictable seas of AI and the data privacy. So he's soon to be the author. Am I correct, Giorgio? You will be the author, or you have already published it?
I will be the author of
Okay,
a new upcoming book that,
exactly.
yeah, the title is The Imperfect Life of an Engineering Manager. And it's all about the level of imperfection that every engineering lead have to deal with. And it's not only from a technical standpoint, right? Let's
Mm,
say that the technical component is complex,
mm,
but the human component is the hard one because every human being is so unique, right? That there is no secret formula, there is no secret sauce, no silver bullet, nothing. And you have to deal with it if you want to be successful. You can't expect
mm,
that people work with the same style or even more in
mm,
depth. You can't think about people acting and reacting to anything in the same way. So you need
mm,
to embrace this unpredictability and manage it in a multifaceted
mm,
managing style that
mm,
help you to drive as much as
mm.
possible engagement and excitement in many people.
Exactly. Exactly. Very true. So, dear listeners, buckle up. We are talking AI, ethics, leadership, resilience, and maybe even spinning a few records along the way. So, welcome again to the show, Giorgio. And it is really, really an honor to have you here today. And so, Giorgio, your journey is definitely incredible. So, from there, just to start with, if you can share, do you ever feel that innovation and the privacy are fundamentally at the odds, or is that a false dichotomy that the industry needs to challenge? So, what do you think?
Well, you are definitely right. The innovation and privacy are
Mm,
two at two extremes because
mm,
to innovate,
mm,
especially right now that we are living this Gen AI revolution,
mm,
you need data. Basically, anything that you see that is happening based on AI, from customer service demo to recommendation on Netflix or predictability of your consumer needs on Amazon, it's based on data. Now, the price of innovation is data.
yeah.
How you balance this from a technology standpoint, from a technology leadership standpoint, it's important because you have these two compelling needs. Customers want sophisticated solutions that help them, that think on their behalf for some aspects and give
Mm,
them the time to do most important things. You don't want to spend time remembering what you have to buy from a grocery for your grocery shopping list. You want to spend time with your family or with your friends or reading a book or windsurfing or DJing, right? Whatever you like to do. Um, and to do that, you have to give away part of your privacy. The problem is that people, most of the people, is not aware about how much privacy they are giving away, how many of their digital and personal life they are sharing with systems that by definition cannot be perfect. So they can be definitely vulnerable to attack of malicious users that can do way more things with your data. Now, for me, the responsibility then lies into the hands of the technical leaders. And by technical leaders, I don't mean just a person that is leading technically a team, but also a manager that is leading from a more holistic point of view, a team, or a CEO, a CTO. If you don't make privacy, data sovereignty, and security paramount in your organization, your engineer, your data scientist, your AI engineer, your ML engineer will just do what they are designed for, building innovative solution based on data, and they will use all the data. It's a tiny bit like a car, right? The more you push on the gas, the more you gas you will use, the fastest you will go. So if there are no speed limits, you will most likely speed all the time. So that boundaries that you create with your messaging, with your communication, with your team, with your prioritization exercises, with you questioning data sovereignty, privacy, security, will make them making more customer obsessed decisions, because the customer obsession shouldn't be just what you give to the customer, but how you give that to the customer.
True. Exactly. That's amazing. I mean, I love like how you navigate that space, Giorgio. I mean, it reminds me of how we as individuals often balance the personal growth with safeguarding our mental health and boundaries. So, yeah, there's a parallel there. I mean, between the personal and the digital privacy. Lovely. And being a tech person also, it's very, very important. Thank you so much for sharing that. Uh, so, and also like you have talked about facing your fears, like whether it's swimming with the sharks or leading complex engineering teams. So when it comes to AI ethics, what are the biggest sharks we should be aware of today? What do you say?
The biggest sharks we should be aware
Yeah,
of
yeah,
today?
yeah.
Well, definitely the misconception that AI
Mm.
can replace human
True.
beings.
Mm.
I don't believe that. I think that AI can reason maybe in a few
Mm.
years, hard to predict how many years, like a human being. But is the real problem here is that many leaders and some also workers are seeing AI as an enemy and are resisting the change. I don't think it's the case. I think that you have to look at AI as a way to enhance and augment your capabilities. So you can do the work that you are doing in 1 week
Mhm.
in 1 day, maybe, or in 1 day and a half. And this is
Mm.
to give you more power, and you have to educate
Yeah.
your also your leaders, your managers, your senior team, that this is not a way to reduce the workforce. Of course, there will be some workforce reduction because there will be a reshape of what we need from workers. I'm not
Yeah.
hiding that part, but at the same time, the concept that hey, we need to hire three new people. Oh, can be the work be done by AI? And if the answer is yes, don't hire, build the system. Uh,
Mhm.
it's silly. You need to be a little bit more broad and say, okay, then if it's doable with AI, we need to build we can build the system. So we need to hire the people that can build the system. But at the same time, we can reshape
Mhm.
how the people will work around the system. So let's think about customer centers, right? Customer support
Yeah.
centers. That's one of the biggest impact where AI can go.
Mm.
But at the same time, if you think carefully, you can automate 80% and having the 20% human touch integrated into
Mhm.
your business flow, as many demo that you may have seen from Google, from Salesforce, from ServiceNow. And this is the powerful thing, is when you mix the two, because at that point you can say to the business, with my new technology in my customer support, I can support an expansion of the business that is 10x. Oh, okay. Then at that point you are generating value. So
Mhm.
the initial, maybe the initial reduction that you can see in hiring, if it's shaped correctly, will then boost the business so much that if it's a valuable business,
Mhm.
you can hire way more other people. So you have to think that it is a reshape. And this, for a worker, is very complicated. It has been complex also for me. It's 25
Mhm.
years that I'm in technology. I saw the era of Flash, then
Mhm.
HTML5, then the most complex JavaScript frameworks, the rise and fall of BlackBerry, the rise and fall of Symbian, um, and now the fall and rise of Windows Mobile, and many technology, many
Mhm.
changes. As a worker, as a person that wants to work in a specific field, you have to embrace change. And you have to get that feeling that you are a dummy again. So once you,
Ah.
let's say you have 10 years of experience in software engineering, oh, guess what? Now it's like you have one. Why? Because it's different the way to work. You use AI,
Mhm.
you can understand the way easily a foreign code base, you can be more impactful. You can also make way more damages, so you have to be very careful and still very skilled in what you do. But it's a different skill set. It's not anymore important how many lines of code you write, but how many concepts you can clearly explain to an LLM to generate components and code that at this point is not anymore needed to measure by line,
Mhm.
and that can make an impact to the business. So it's different. And there is resistance. I've seen engineers resisting, oh, I don't trust AI writing my code.
Mhm.
Sure, I understand that part, but you can have a good start and then you refine it. Oh, yes, I can do that. So shift a tiny bit and don't look at the change
Mhm.
like a revolution, but more like an evolution of the way we
Ah.
work.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. And that's so powerful. And also, like, if you can share, like, how can leaders cultivate the courage to confront these ethical challenges head on rather than just letting them swim under the radar? So,
So, in my opinion, at least my perspective, I don't know if it's true
uh,
for every leader, but my perspective, my approach to it, it's pretty simple. Whatever I do during my day, I want to be able to wake up the day after, look at myself in the mirror, and think that I'm doing something good for people, and
mm,
finding at least one fact that can tell me, okay, yesterday you have done something to help someone.
yeah.
Now, if you think about the context, okay, in life you can help everybody, right? You can go out and you can donate some money. You are helping, yes, but think about your work. We're talking about work and the ethics that you have to maintain, the high level of ethics that you have to maintain in such a fast changing environment.
Mm,
So wake up, ask yourself what you have done at work yesterday to help somebody. And if you haven't done anything, well, just challenge yourself and help somebody today. Help
yeah.
can be whatever. From a management standpoint, can be developing others. From a technical standpoint, can be challenging a decision that seems too quick to make
Mm,
a profit and is not considering the ethical aspect maybe of AI or the ethical aspect of using data of other people. So
mm,
challenge yourself in the morning. It takes 5 minutes. And if you feel good, well, then you are one step ahead. It's not fully done because it's also easy to have bias toward your own actions.
mm,
Work with your people. Ask for feedback. Ask for 360 feedback organized around you.
yeah.
Have a mentor. A mentor doesn't have to be an expensive uh, executive of whatever company. Have a buddy, a friend that
Mm,
you can use to run your ideas. To some extent, you can also use AI to criticize your work. There is nothing wrong in opening whatever LLM, write a prompt, and say act as a business, as a career coach or as a personal coach. Explain which are the traits that you are interested, and share what is the latest action you take, and ask for feedback. Well, of course, will be not perfect as it. Well, nothing is perfect, but it will not be, let's say, challenging maybe as a human being, because human beings can get so many nuances around your communication. But you can start there and be critical about yourself, be humble, be a continuous learner. Don't work with the exception that, oh, I did it in the past, it worked, let's do it again. And then you will navigate this ambiguity. Again, not in a perfect way, but maybe you will be able to reach excellence. That is a very high level compared to standards.
True. Exactly. Yeah. Amazing. And also, I have to ask, like, you have blended the leadership, mentorship, technology, and even music throughout your life. So, how do those different passions influence each other? So, yeah.
Can you ask me again the question? I want to be sure that I got all the nuances of your question.
Okay. Okay. So, okay, I'll clarify this way. So, do you think that leaders need a creative outlet like that to stay grounded in such fast-paced and high-stakes environment?
Of course, leaders, first of all, the word leaders is controversial for
Mm.
me, right? Because
Okay.
for me, leadership, it's when you start to have people that wants to follow you. It's not that you say, you come in and say, hey, I'm your new leader.
Mm.
Leadership, it happens from the bottom up. You join a team, you join a company, you build a team, you're humble, and at some point you see that people will start to see you as a leader. But as a leader, you're never in front of the pack. You're always at the back, in the back of your
Mm.
pack. You watch for them. That's leadership, in my opinion. And so the word, as it is interpreted right now in the world, with these strong leaderships that are fighting between them about financial powers and so on, really bothers me. If you think about the leaders from a perspective that I just shared, somebody that look after people,
Yeah.
then of course you have to be creative. And why you have to be creative is because the world is changing at a speed that is never been seen. What was not possible 6 months ago from a technology standpoint is now possible. And this is because of these fast-paced technology enhancements that are happening through AI, with many risks, with uh, many challenges, ethic, security. But you have to be creative. And to be creative, what I think that is the best thing to do is to step back for a second. I have my 20, 30 minutes in the morning where I step back from everything and I read a book, or I read a printed out article. So I disconnect from my hub. My laptop is my hub to everything, right? You do everything through your laptop.
Yeah.
And when you are able to disconnect and be able to collect your thoughts, well, then you are able to spark creativity. And maybe you read to a sentence in a different way, and you get the right idea to maybe solve your next challenge. And the challenge, again, can be technical, can be personal. So yes, creativity is important,
Yes.
but you need to find your own way to be creative. Mine is, again, stepping away from everything and think a tiny bit about life, about work, in a more calm way, that is through reading a book, through reading an article. And that sparked a lot of ideas to me. But it's a subjective, very subjective.
Understood. Got it. Lovely. So, Giorgio, I mean, it's really really great conversation from the depth of AI ethics to the beats of dance floor. You have definitely shown us that leadership isn't about having all the answers, but it's all about asking the right questions, facing the sharks, and never losing sight of what really matters, people. So, thank you so much, Giorgio. And for the listeners, I have to mention, like, what's your role in evolving the AI landscape? Have you thought about this? Whether you are a
Yes.
techie, yeah, yeah. So I'm just asking the listeners about this because sometimes we feel that these questions should come to us because whether someone is techie or entrepreneur or simply someone who values privacy, uh, then today's chat or the conversation actually remind you or remind us that we all have say in the future that we are building. Yes. So, Giorgio, like if someone wants to connect with you, want to have a discussion on this, how they can connect with you?
The best way for me it's LinkedIn. I of course try to avoid conversation where you want to just selling me
Uh-huh.
something, but
Mhm.
I'm very open to have a conversation about any topic related to AI, people management, and data sovereignty and ownership.
Hmm.
So
Lovely.
reach out on LinkedIn anytime.
Wow. Lovely. Great. So, as always, dear listeners, if you have loved this episode, drop us a review, share it with your tribe, and let's keep this ripple of thoughtful leadership and the innovation going strong. So, until next time, stay curious, stay courageous, and remember that AI is just building, it will not take your job. So, just just think about this and catch you soon in the next one. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.